Say hello to each other when passing on the stairs. You have interesting eyes.
In what way do you mean?
Well, isn't the pupil of the left one a little bit lighter?
Yes, I'm afraid I'm developing a cataract in that eye.
Oh, that's not possible for a kid.
I am 28.
What I meant is, your face is still youthful as your vulnerable nature.
Hi there, I'm Nicholas Casimir, and I'm here with Ari Fliakos, a member of the Wooster group. How is the Wooster group different from any other group in the world?
The simplest way to explain it is that we are all kind of materials, and it's very everybody's fair game as far as those materials, right? You have the performers, we have the things that are at our disposal, we have video, we have microphones, we have music, and the text is a material, and this creates a kind of a fabric or a piece, you know, and it ends up being theater.
I left home, and at night I remember, well, losses must be accepted and survived.
So what is this play, this late Tennessee Williams play?
The writer is, he's coming out as a writer, and he's coming out as a gay man. He's growing up in this boarding house, and he's surrounded by these various people on the skids, and it's funny and sad. And, you know, it still has all the elements of theater that we love, and it's thoroughly entertaining. But also through it all, you have the arc of the act of creating something.
It was occupied once. In my recollection, it still is, but by shadow.
Why this Tennessee Williams play? It's a latter play. It's not one of the early well-known plays. It's not a Glass Menagerie. It's not a Streetcar Named Desire.
Streetcar Named Desire has been done brilliantly. This play hasn't. You know, it's a little bit of a lost child, and it's problematic. There's reasons for that. The problems were appealing to us. Towards the end of his career, Williams wrote a lot. We read a lot of his memoirs and stuff and his writings. And he wrote a lot towards the end of his career about a kind of a theater as being something that shouldn't be represented. That psychological realism isn't enough.
Well, sometimes it offends mine too.
If I had not been a young lady myself once. Oh, yes. Once, yes.
And the other thing is the sexuality of the play was very interesting to us. I mean, so much of his earlier work and so much of the genius of his earlier work is the repression of his sexuality and sublimated into these women or into heterosexual relationships mostly. And so it was so interesting that he had so clearly gone beyond that, and that he was totally out, you know, in his desires and his memories.
How strange it is that we've occupied these adjoining rooms for about 3 weeks now and have just barely begun to say hello to each other when passing on the stairs.
That was interesting to us. You know, how do we deal with that? How do we deal with this, which at the time I think was quite radical for him to be portraying this on stage.
And if that offends your moral scruples, well, sometimes it offends mine too.
As someone who's married with a child, and the version of the playwright is a very sexual being who's obviously a homosexual. Was that a big leap for you? Was that challenging, or was that liberating in some ways?
And what's interesting to me about that question is that I realize how not far from me it is. And I don't know, sometimes defining it, gay, straight, intimacy with a person, I feel like that's universal. And that it means less to me, probably because I'm straight, and I don't have to deal with it. But if that makes sense, I'm not constantly aware of my sexuality that way. So for me, it's an easy transition. I have love for everybody. Like there's a very little self-consciousness about that for me.
Yeah, you realize you have a great gig, right? Like to be part of this core is theater history.
It's all right. I could pay better.
Said to in a vacuum before.